Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. That's a third of your life. It ain't but 24 hours in a day. You cannot be sleep 8 hours a day. You can't live in LA and wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. The stock market been open 2 hours. They already making decisions about your life and your ass was asleep. The Bible says, he who loves to sleep and the folding of hands, poverty will set upon you like a thief in the night.
I've had every opportunity up here to be like, yeah, motherfuckers, get rich. That shit is cool as hell. And here's the thing, people will chase money forever. Why? Because it's real. Money is real. Money is powerful. But money's not at all what you think it is. You think when it comes to success, like getting there, making it, achieving it, the way that you see somebody that's achieved it now, however you define that, and you look at them and you think, oh my God, they're amazing. You think you're going to think the same thing about yourself. And you won't. And I had the very good fortune, my wealth came all at once. I built a company, I had tons of equity in the company, I was worth hundreds of millions of dollars on paper, but I was still driving a beat up car and my life was whatever, I was in a normal house, I was making a good salary, no need to feel sorry for me, but in terms of like the wealth moment, it literally came in an instant. It was, all right guys, the money's been wired, and you hit refresh on your bank account. Refresh, 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 and then bam, you're fucking crazy rich. And it's like commas and zeros, and you're like, holy shit! I don't feel any differently about myself. And all of my insecurities, all the things that I beat myself up for, all of it, still right here. It literally didn't change anything. I could buy neater stuff, but the only thing, like if you want to know what money really does, money lets you build. I'm building impact theory. I'm going to win because I have the intensity and I have the capital. That's money. But money doesn't touch who you are. So my thing is, I may go broke building impact theory. That is a reality. Because I know the struggle's guaranteed, the success isn't. So it's very possible, I'm betting my fortune right now on building this thing. Maybe it doesn't work. But that won't touch how I feel about myself. Losing the money won't touch how I feel about myself any more than making the money couldn't touch how I felt about myself. Because you either do the internal work of like, I know who I am. The thing that you'll resent isn't whether or not you make it. The thing that you'll resent is, now that you know you can, will you actually try?
The SATs were right. I didn't know what I was doing. My mother was right. I was profoundly lazy. My best friend was right. I was trying to marshmallow my way through life. I always took the easy path. I'd been taught to keep my head down, do as little work as possible, and avoid punishment at all costs. That was my value system. And for real, like that was me into my mid-20s. This was not like, oh, I had some epiphany at 16. I was an absolute mess. And unfortunately, I think you guys are going to resonate with what changed everything for me. I became ashamed. I was ashamed of myself. My girlfriend at the time, I didn't have a job. We were living at her mom's house in the bedroom that she had grown up in. Her father made it very clear he didn't want me to marry his daughter. And his words to me were, how are you going to take care of my daughter? And I said, Andreas, I know what you see is a broke, out of work, undereducated kid. I actually said that. But I'm the most ambitious person you've ever met. Now, what I didn't know when I said those words is that there is a tremendous difference between being ambitious and having drive.
My publisher came to me and he said, Stan, I want you to come up with another superhero. I thought, what can I come up with now? And the most important thing in a superhero at first is the superpower. Once you get that, everything else comes along. So I thought, what power will I give a new guy? And I saw a fly crawling on the wall. And I said, hey, if I could get a superhero that could stick to walls and crawl on them, man, that would be cool. So I thought that was good. Now I needed a name. So I said, well, let's see, Fly Man, Mosquito Man. I got down to Spider-Man. Spider-Man. It just sounded dramatic. So, okay, I had my hero, I had his power, his name, and then I figured just for fun, I'm going to give him personal problems. And then I thought I'd make him a teenager, because there were no teenage superheroes that I knew of at the time. So armed with all that wonderful material, those great ideas, I ran into my publisher's office and I told him. This was my reaction, the reaction he gave me. Stan, that is the worst idea I have ever heard. First of all, people hate spiders, so you can't call a hero Spider-Man. You want him to be a teenager? Teenagers can only be sidekicks. And you want him to have personal problems? Stan, don't you know what a superhero is? They don't have personal problems. Well, I left the office disappointed, but obviously a much wiser man. And I couldn't get Spider-Man out of my system. So we were about to kill a magazine. I think it was called Amazing Fantasy. It wasn't selling well, and we were sending the last issue to press. When you do the last issue of a magazine, nobody cares what you put in it because the book is dying. Just to get it out of my system, I put Spider-Man in Amazing Fantasy, featured him on the cover, forgot about it. A month later, all the sales figures came in. My publisher came racing into my office. Stan, you remember that character we both loved so much, Spider-Man? He said, let's do him as a series. If you have an idea that you genuinely think is good, don't let some idiot talk you out of it.